Hello, we are Claudia Pino and Vania Villalón from Section 2, and we are going to present our second task from IEL 1 of the last 2 units. We're going to talk about the education in Chile and diversity, focusing on sexual diversity.
The main problem in our Chilean system is that for different factors, the youth can apply to the superior education, talking about institutes, universities, and stuff. For different problems, but mostly money, better called equity, and the also renowned equality, most present in the public establishments. Today, the statistics told us that the 36% of our students are registered in public schools. Today, we are going to talk about the 2 units, education in Chile and diversity, but first we want to introduce you in what is education in Chile and how all the system has been made. After a historical fight, when we in the past see that only the high class had education and the people who was exclusive, and what we see today, that we all have the right and the obligation of education no matter how our class is or the money we have.
This system has 4 levels that are parvularia, básica, media, and superior. The first 3 are mandatory. Also, the law governing our system is Ley General de Educación de 2009, LGE. These levels are monitored for the Ministry of Education, that regulates curriculums in the different institutions, recognizing officially universities and professional institutes, etc. But in this task, we want to go deeper in our system, focusing in the discrimination and the lack of integration that the teachers in Chile has today. We can see in our classrooms, since we went to school, the bullying, the treating of a kid that is different or has different abilities. But today, we want to focus in the most problematic minority, in those who don't express their real identity for being scared of what their family or friends are going to say. In the dossier, we will see that the age when the youth declares homosexual is between 16 to 18 years. In a minor proportion in the 13 years. What was different in the 80s, because the age was 19 to 21 for men and 21 to 23 for women.
Today, between the 7 and 10% of our population is homosexual. This is an approximate, not entirely true, because not all the people tell about their sexual condition. In consequence of this, we can have an exact percent of the homosexual youth. But we do investigate other important percentages, like there is more discrimination and not systems in the adult population. In the group of youth, between 18 to 29 is at 27%. In the group of adults to 30 to 45 is at 34%. In the group of 46 to 60 is at 45%. And in the group of 60 or more is the 50% of the population, when we can see that the old people is less inclusive than the young people.
The age is telling us a lot of things about how people nowadays see the diversity. And this generation is a lot more involved with it than the one before us. For example, there was a study in 1990 which it asked if they mind having a gay neighbor, and the 56% of the young people were against it. And then, in 2011, the same study was made and only the 23% of the youth was against it.
In the investigation, we also see that people with less monetary resources is less inclusive than the people with the upper class. The ABC1 group, there is a 88% that approves a different sexual orientation instead of youth with a low social stratum, with a 81%. The social status is very influential on this subject nowadays, and it shows in more studies.
For naming one, we have the perception around sexual diversity, where it asks if people have friends or family who belong to the LGBT community. And the 69% of people asked answer yes, being majority on this group women above 20 years of the upper class, that is ABC 1 to C2.
However, in general, it shows a positive attitude towards the sexual diversity as the social status rises on women, and the youth who doesn't see themselves as religious, on thinking that homosexuality is a sexual orientation valid as another. There is a 88% who agrees with it, and the 81% on people belonging to the lower class.
This makes us reflect on how the environment and the context makes us judge people. We can see that adults obviously has a different background and beliefs and don't take the sexual diversity as something natural. There is where we can see when it's presented the problem of quality teachers who don't know how to deal with students with different sexual preference because they are not used to see that kind of stuff before. This makes us think that this is one of the main problems in education because the students who belongs to the LGBT community doesn't feel comfortable in a hostile environment of not acceptance.
Which it makes bigger when we see the internet, the Facebook, that involves more to this bullying and bad treatment to the different students.
Yeah, because the levels of cyberbullying has been arising nowadays because this generation is so involved on social networks and basically it's all about the internet and things like that.
We as future teachers are the next generation, more inclusive, more tolerant, and we both want to be the kind of teachers that integrate all the students no matter what are the differences. Based on the investigation we made, we noticed that this generation that we are related to is more close to diversity, not only talking about different sexual issues, but also the religion, the different cultures, the people with different identity, and the background education. Thanks for watching. This is our second task for EL1.
I hope you enjoy it.